Good afternoon, everybody. Shanni B here with a quick recipe for, I guess it would be a baked cauliflower. And this is the size of the head of cauliflower that I'm using. As you can see, I already took the time. I rinsed it, washed it, whatever. And then I took this little knife right here and I cut out all of the green leaves and the majority of what was left of the core. We're going to bake this today once we get it prepared at 425 for 40 to 50 minutes. It's super simple, super tasty, and what we plan to do with it today is we are going to use some of the leftover spaghetti sauce I froze last week. I'm going to take it out and we're going to slice this into steaks once it's done, and we're going to use the spaghetti sauce over the top. So you can use your favorite spaghetti sauce, a homemade spaghetti sauce, canned, jarred, vegan, whatever flavor you want will work. Super simple recipe. I'm going to marinate it for probably, I don't know, a couple hours, but I'm going to put it in this bowl upside down after I dress it with whatever I got going on over here. And let it sit in the bowl. That way it'll soak up the flavors, hopefully. That's the general idea anyways. So I'm kind of rough sketching something that I got off Pinterest. I can't remember the exact recipe. I look at so many, and then what I kind of do is make things my own. That's how I cook. I feel like a good cook doesn't really need to follow recipes. Certain cases, yes. Mostly no. For me, it's kind of like a freestyle art form. So I'm going to take a stick of butter and I'm going to melt it. That's what I'm doing here. Mine, however, since I'm going to marinate it, and again, you can do this right off rip. You can go ahead and throw this little sauce together, slap it onto the cauliflower, and bake it in the oven at 425 for 40 to 50 minutes. And it'll be crispy, crunchy, idealistically on the outside, tender on the inside, but it won't probably be as tasty as if you were to do it a few hours ahead of time. So what I did here, and I don't know if you can see this, so I'll move it to the middle of the board. This is just 1 clove of garlic that I minced. You just, you take the flat one, you take a clove, you hit it with the back side of the blade of your knife, and then you chop it real fine, and that should do the trick for you. Or you can use the powdered or granulated, or even the kind that's already chopped up. We're going to put that in here just so you know. It's going to go in there with all the rest of the yummy goodness. Next, we're going to take some olive oil. Just extra virgin light olive oil is fine. And we're going to put a little bit of that in there. You can do 50-50 or whatever makes you comfortable. I prefer more of a 50-50 blend. That probably wasn't that, but that doesn't mean when I mix all this up that I won't go back and add some more. So then I'm going to take a little bit of sea salt. I'm going to sprinkle just a tad of that in there. I don't cook with a lot of salt. I just don't. So this is going to be a little bit of paprika. Again, I'm a freestyle cooker, so a lot of times I don't measure, especially when this is a recipe that can be variated immensely. You can put the toppings on this could be endless, seriously. And it just depends on what kind of flavor you're going for. This is just the cheapy Italian seasoning that I got at Walmart. Just put, about that much in there. Again, you're going to adjust this as you go. Once you mix this all up and kind of maybe do a little test to see how it tastes, then you might add something more, or next time put less of something. So this is fresh thyme that I had on my little porch, and most of it I already took off the stem. If it's little baby stems, you really don't have to take it off the stem due to the fact that they're tender. Most people remove it from the stem because it bruises the leaves. This is what it looks like. This is thyme. I had some from my garden last year and it's regrowing. I love that. So this is what I'm using. And this is how you take it off the stem. You just hold it by one end. You can even pinch that end off first. Hold it by the end. Oh, shoot. And then it just slides off that easy. And then you take it off. Voila. And then you can just take your little knife and roughly chop it. It'll just release some more of the oils. Generally, when you use fresh herbs, you're going to use more than if you use the dried herbs because they're not as concentrated. But, you know, to each his own. It's all in your own taste, you know? Again, it's your canvas. You paint it how you want. We're going to throw that in there along with, and I'm more than sure that that's already in the Italian seasoning that I used. However, I kind of wanted to show you what fresh looks like. These are rosemary. This is rosemary. Get it in the garden section. Go to Ace Hardware. You can go to Walmart in the garden section and get you a rosemary bush and plant it. They love sandy soil. And again, we're going to do the same thing. Pinch off, see where the leaf starts to get, or the stem starts to get a little more brittle. Pinch it off and then hold it by the end and just slide your finger down and they just come right off. See there? Look at there. And again, we're going to kind of bruise these a little bit because they're broader leaves. And you just chop it real quick. Most of my stuff that I'm using today, I already had it lined up because I'm just not one to make nonsense in the kitchen. I like to clean as I go. There's a tip for the younger girls and men. Clean as you go. It's so much easier, and then you're not dog-ass tired at the end of your meal and having to clean up or fight your kids to clean up. Hopefully you're teaching your kids to do dishes. So we're just going to throw that in there too. Mostly, for me, that's going to be an aromatic effect. I'm going to love the way this smells in the kitchen when it's cooking in the oven. This is, I think it's Parmigiano. Yeah, it is. Pecorino Romano is what this is. Something that I already had in the fridge. So I'm just going to grate a little bit of this. Fresh is best. Trust that. And by the way, when you buy already pre-shredded cheese in the cheese section, know that it has a wax on it. So that's why you guys are having difficulty when you use it in your mac and cheese or whatever. It has a wax coating on it, so it's harder to break down than just a regular whole block of cheese. Now clearly some cheeses come with a wax on them for their protection, or a skin, if you will, like Brie has a skin on it, or a rind. Call it a rind. That's what they are. So this, I'm just going to throw like maybe a tablespoon in right now into this little bowl of mixture that I have going on, due to the fact that I don't want it to brown all the way while the cauliflower is cooking, right? So the next step is we're gonna do this. Oh, I forgot the black pepper. So again, what I've added in, no, I did put black pepper in there. See, I'm a little crazy. So what I put in here today is a stick of butter. You can half that again. The olive oil, extra virgin, light, I guess. The Italian seasoning, black pepper. I put a little paprika in here, some chopped fresh garlic, some fresh rosemary, some fresh thyme, and some sea salts. And again, the Romano. So I'm just going to mix it all up like so. Yeah. See how that goes? Super easy, super quick. This is something you could do like in 30 seconds, right? If we weren't on here and I was just really going to town like I normally would. So it's going to look kind of gross. I'm just going to set that all right there. Oh, and I guess I need to move my cheese over, right? Cheese needs to move over for this. We're going to pull this out, put it right there, move all my other utensils so we have room on the board without cutting ourselves. We don't need a trip to the hospital at this point. And I'm just going to use my fingers because this is for my family, and well, it's just me and Nola. But so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour it on, and I'm going to just like rub it all in there. Give it a good slathering, if you will. Don't be afraid to pick it up off the board and just kind of work it into your cauliflower so it gets nice and yummy, all in the crevices so that it can marinate better. See how that's looking? I know this is not a job for the prissy girl who doesn't like to get her hands dirty. But it is a great project for your kids to do. This is a great, easy lesson in cooking to get them involved to where they're going to actually want to eat their veggies. Just a thought. My kids grew up on mostly fresh everything, meats from the garden. I had a crazy good garden when they were coming up. Most everywhere we lived, we were a military family when I was married to their dad. So anyway, we had a great garden. Okay, so now you see the inside is, isn't done yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the bowl over here, and I'm not going to put it here. Yes, I'm just going to slide this over. Sorry. Trying not to make a mess, but I am not successful. So now I'm just going to pour the rest of this in there in the inside, let it get down there, so when it melts or when it's sitting out, I'm going to cover it and leave it for a little bit. My suggestion would be at least 45 minutes to an hour. And if your house is hot, then put it in the fridge, but the butter is going to get hard again. So if you could leave it out, that's awesome. If you can't, oh well. Alright, so there you have it. So we're going to cover this with tin foil and then again set the oven to 425 when we're ready to go. And what we're going to do is put it in the oven. We'll flip it over like so on a cookie sheet, and my suggestion is to obviously put aluminum foil or parchment paper down to catch the drippings. Aluminum foil is a lot less cleanup, and you just put it in there head down like that, and you're gonna bake it for 45. You'll see it, it'll get nice and crusty. And also what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the remaining of the Romano that I did and sprinkle it over the top about halfway through so that it gets nice and crunchy and browned on top. And this is gonna be an amazing, yummy, yummy substitute for noodles or anything else that you would normally eat spaghetti sauce with. I'm so excited, I can't wait. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Please make sure that you like my page and hit the subscribe button and share if you would. Lots of new, out on their own kind of people and other people that have been cooking their whole lives love a good, quick, easy, nutritious. This is mostly nutritious minus the butter. So I guess you could use another bonding agent to the cauliflower. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. See you next time.